Narrator. Before we begin, I want you to imagine something. Imagine you are about to bring a new life into the world. You are scared. You are in pain. You are clinging to hope. And the one person who promised to protect you is supposed to be right there by your side. Now imagine looking up and seeing him holding another woman instead. That moment, that betrayal, that slow motion heartbreak in a hospital hallway. It is the spark that set off one of the most shocking real-life dramas you will ever hear. A moment caught on a single blinking camera. A moment that millions of people would replay over and over by sunrise. A moment that would turn an ordinary woman into a national symbol of survival, betrayal, and unbelievable resilience. But here is the twist. The hallway scandal you think you understand is only the beginning. Because what happened after that collapse changed careers, destroyed reputations, exposed secrets, and transformed a quiet mother into the voice of an entire movement. And before this 60-minute story is over, you will see every lie unravel, every truth rise, and every person involved revealed for who they really are. So take a breath, settle in, because once this story starts, I promise, you will not be able to walk away. And if you want more stories like this, do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring you even more unforgettable stories. Narrator. If you freeze this moment, right here in the hallway of St. Andrew's Hospital, you will see 3 lives collapsing at once. Not with explosions, not with shouting, but with something quieter and crueler. A hug, a betrayal, a fall, and a tiny red camera light that refuses to look away. Let me take you to the moment just before everything shattered. The hallway is bright, too bright for 2 in the morning. Machines hum, a monitor beeps somewhere. The scent of bleach sits heavy in the air, and the doors to the maternity wing swing open with the rush and panic of a storm. Emily Hale clutches the side rail of her gurney as nurses push her down the corridor. Her breath is ragged. Her voice trembles as she whispers, "Emily, the contractions are too close. Something is wrong. Please, something is wrong." A nurse leans over her shoulder, calm but urgent. "Nurse Carla, stay with us, Emily. You are doing great. We are almost there." Narrator. Emily Hale is the kind of woman who always takes care of other people first. Former nurse, now a social worker, the type of person who gives more than she has, the type of person who forgives a little too easily, and tonight, the type of person who desperately needs someone to stand beside her. But the person who should be there is not at her side. He is 20 feet ahead and he is not alone. At the end of the hallway stands Jason Hale, her husband, billionaire, tech pharmaceutical king, perfect smile, perfect suit, perfect lies. Beside him is Sienna Ross, his PR executive, glamorous even under these harsh lights. Her red blouse glows like a warning sign. Emily sees them before anyone else does. The nurses slow the gurney without meaning to. They feel the shift in the air, even before they understand it. Narrator. And here it is, the moment that will go viral across the country by sunrise. The moment that millions will replay until their hearts ache. Jason Hale placing his hand on Sienna Ross's arm. A whisper, a smile, and then the hug. Jason pulls Sienna close, shielding her from the cold hospital air. It would almost look sweet if not for the woman behind him fighting for breath. Emily's voice cracks. "Emily." "Jason?" He does not hear her, or maybe he does and simply does not turn. Sienna tilts her head up toward him, her expression soft in a way that should never belong to someone else's husband. Narrator. Love is supposed to break you softly. Betrayal breaks you with precision, like a surgeon cutting in the exact place where it hurts most. The gurney bumps forward. Emily tries to sit up, pain slicing through her abdomen. "Nurse Carla, Emily, do not push yourself. We have you." But Emily cannot look away. The father of her child is not coming to her side. He is not reaching for her hand. He is wrapped around another woman while she is slipping towards the floor of her own life. Her breathing turns sharp, uneven. The nearby monitor picks up her distress, beeping faster and higher. A nurse calls out, "Nurse Carla, we need a room now, move." Narrator, here is disappointment 1, the first crushing moment that will define her night. Emily Hale realizes she is alone in this hallway, even with a crowd around her. And the worst part? She is still hoping he will turn around. The second contraction hits like a train. Emily grips the rail so tightly her knuckles go white. Emily, Jason, help me, please. The plea is raw, honest, human, but Jason still does not move. Narrator. And here comes the first subtle engagement moment. Maybe you have been here too, not in a hospital hallway, not with cameras blinking at you, but in a moment where you needed someone and they chose someone else. A security camera overhead blinks. Red, recording, patient, ruthless. Emily's vision tilts sideways. Her hand slips from the rail. The world spins. Nurses shout, "Nurse Carla, she is going down. Get her stabilized." Jason finally turns at the sound of chaos. His expression flashes between guilt and confusion, the kind that says, "Jason, this looks bad, but it is not my fault." Narrator. We will talk more about that kind of man later. Men who apologize with their eyebrows but never their actions. Emily collapses onto the gurney, her body curling inward. She whispers the last thing her strength can manage. "Emily, not now, please. Not now," the monitor beside her shrieks, a long, unbroken tone. "Nurse Carla, we are losing her. Move, move." The doors to the delivery room slam open just as Emily loses consciousness. Her heartbeat flickers. The baby's heartbeat falters with it, and still the camera blinks. Red, unmoving, recording everything. Narrator. That is the cruel beauty of cameras. They do not take scenes, they do not soften the edges. They do not rewrite history. They tell it exactly as it unfolds. Two orderlies and three nurses swarm around Emily. Her limp hand dangles off the gurney, hospital bracelet swinging like a ticking clock. Inside the delivery room, someone shouts, "Dr. Quinn, she is crashing. Prep for emergency C-section now." Narrator. And that is where we leave Emily for the moment, suspended between two worlds, between life and whatever comes next, between the woman she used to be and the woman she will have to become. But before we go further, let me give you something Emily never got in that hallway. Actionable advice number 1. There are 3 signs someone is emotionally abandoning you long before they leave your side. 1. They treat your needs like interruptions. 2. They save their tenderness for someone else. 3. When you are in pain, they watch instead of move. Jason Hale checks all 3 boxes tonight, and the world will see it soon, because that red blinking camera is about to become the most powerful witness in the country. Narrator. When Chapter 1 ended, Emily Hale was unconscious on an operating table while her husband held another woman in the hallway. But the world outside that hospital did not stop. Someone else kept rolling. Someone else kept watching. And someone else was already preparing to change everything by sunrise. You are about to meet the unexpected 4th character of this story. Not a person, not exactly, but a force in its own way. A tiny piece of plastic mounted in the corner of the ceiling. The hospital security camera. The one with the red blinking dot. That camera will become the reason why 20 million people across America will say one sentence by tomorrow evening. Narrator. Emily deserved better. Cut to the operating room. Dr. Quinn stands over Emily, her expression tight, focused. Dr. Quinn. Scalpel. Let us get this baby out safely. Narrator. Dr. Mara Quinn is not a woman who panics. She has seen enough chaos to recognize when a situation is salvageable and when it is not. Emily is slipping fast, but the baby still has a chance, for now. The sound of the heart monitor trembles. Nurse Carla, fetal heart rate dropping again. Dr. Quinn does not look away from her work. Dr. Quinn, then let's give him a better shot at this world. Increase oxygen. Prepare neonatal team. Narrator. Here in the operating room, life is holding on by a thread. Out in the hallway, however, life is doing something different. Something colder. Something slicker. Jason Hale is on the phone. He stands with his back to the window, Sienna Ross beside him, both looking like they wandered in from a charity gala, not a crisis. Jason. I do not care about the time. I need my legal team awake now. Yes, now, narrator. This is what Jason fears most. Not losing his wife, not losing his child, but losing control of the story. Sienna leans against the wall, arms crossed. Sienna. Jason, relax. No one is going to see that clip. Jason presses a hand to his forehead. Jason, it does not matter. Perception matters. Someone will spin it wrong. Narrator. And here comes the second subtle engagement moment. You might have lived this before, a moment where someone worries more about how the situation looks instead of caring about how the situation feels. The kind of moment that tells you exactly who you're dealing with. Meanwhile, down the hall, a door creaks. A young security technician named Evan Hale slips into the monitoring room. Yes, Evan Hale, Jason's younger brother. He is not supposed to be working tonight. He is not supposed to be here at all. But family tension tends to pull people in strange directions. Evan stares at the bank of screens. The footage is paused at the exact moment Emily collapses. The image is horrifying and undeniable. Evan whispers, almost to himself, "Evan, you have got to be kidding me, Jason." Narrator, that is disappointment number 2. Not for Emily this time, but for Evan. Evan knew Jason was selfish, but he did not know Jason would stand by while his pregnant wife fainted behind him. Evan presses play. The scene unfolds again. The hug, the fall, Emily's outstretched hand, the moment that will define this family forever. He exhales. Evan, she deserves better. He plugs into a flash drive. Narrator, just like that, fate shifts. A single click, a single transfer, a single choice made by a younger brother tired of watching power crush the people around his family. Back in the operating room, panic spikes. Nurse Carla, heart rate crashing again. She is not stabilizing. Dr. Quinn's jaw clenches. Dr. Quinn, we are losing her. Let's go. We are finishing this fast. Where is the neonatal team? The neonatal nurse rushes in. Neonatal nurse, we are ready, incubator prepped. Narrator, and here comes the first of 3 catastrophic events, the one that will reshape the entire night. The baby arrives, small, too small, silent at first. The room freezes, then a soft, weak cry, a cry that sounds more like a question than a beginning. Dr. Quinn hands the baby to the neonatal team. Dr. Quinn, he needs oxygen immediately. Move! Narrator, that tiny cry will be replayed on televisions across America within 24 hours. A whole country will recognize it. A whole country will feel protective over it. A whole country will whisper, "Everyone, hold on, little guy, hold on." But Emily does not hear any of this. She is slipping deeper into the void, her mind drifting like a boat without an anchor. We enter her fading consciousness. Emily, Jason, where are you? Jason, help me. Narrator, this is disappointment number 3, the third crushing moment. The moment Emily realizes, even in her fading mind, that the person she trusted is nowhere near her. Cut to the hallway. A nurse steps out of the delivery room and calls out, "Nurse Carla, we need the father. Someone find the father, please." Jason looks up. "Jason, I am coming," but then his phone buzzes. Corporate emergency. His company, his empire, his priority. "Jason, Sienna, handle it. I will be back in a minute." He steps aside, ignoring the nurse's panic. He takes the call. Narrator. And here is the moment when America collectively decides that Jason Hale is the villain of this story. Because when life demanded a father, Jason answered as a CEO instead. In the neonatal unit, the tiny newborn is hooked to monitors. His chest rises and falls shallowly. A nurse whispers, "Neonatal nurse, you are a fighter, little one. Stay with us." Narrator. He will be known as Baby Hale for now. America will give him a dozen nicknames later. Miracle Baby, Fighter Baby. The child who arrived in silence and changed everything. Meanwhile, Evan stares at the flash drive in his hand. Avaman. Do I leak this? Do I really blow up my own brother's life? Narrator. This is the universal dilemma section, the 20 to 30% mark, the moment where a character must choose between loyalty and justice, between silence and truth. The choice every viewer understands on a deeply human level. Evan closes his fist around the drive. Evan, yes, she deserves better. He pockets it. Cut to the final scene of the chapter. Dr. Quinn steps out of the delivery room, exhausted, her gloves streaked with blood. She pulls down her mask. Dr. Quinn, the baby is stable for now. Emily is still in critical condition. We managed to save her, but she is not out of danger. Jason ends his phone call as she speaks. He puts the phone in his pocket. adjusting his expression. A perfect mask, a perfect lie. Jason. Of course, thank you, doctor. I was so worried. Narrator. And the camera blinks, still recording, still watching, still waiting, because the truth has a way of surviving, especially when someone chooses to set it free. Narrator. Sunrise over Riverbend City usually looks peaceful. A soft pink glow over rooftops, quiet streets, coffee brewing in kitchens. But not today. Today, the sun rises over a storm that nobody knows is coming. Not Jason Hale, not Sienna Ross, not even Emily's recovering brother Evan. But the storm is already taking shape, like a fuse burning toward a pile of dynamite. At Riverside Hospital, the halls are calmer than the night before. Nurses trade sleepy greetings. The neonatal ward hums with soft machinery. Baby Hale lies tucked beneath a warming lamp, wrapped like a fragile secret. But in the security booth, the air feels different, tense, heavy, because Evan Hale is not just a brother tonight. He is a witness with evidence that could flip the world upside down. He inserts the flash drive into his laptop. A progress bar loads. Evan whispers, Evan, God, Jason, what did you do? Narrator, he replays the clip again, not because he needs to see it, but because disbelief is a stubborn thing. The hug, the collapse, Jason's complete lack of reaction. Evan closes his eyes, disgust rising like heat. Suddenly, a knock on the door. Evan jumps, slamming his laptop shut. Nurse Linda steps inside. She is 24, bright-eyed, sharp, the kind of person who notices everything even when she pretends she does not. Linda, relax, Evan. Your face looks like you swallowed a beehive. Evan forces a laugh. Evan, I did not expect company. Linda, I figured you would still be here. You look like someone who does not sleep when something is wrong. Narrator, third subtle engagement moment coming later. For now, this is the thread that binds people. The moment when someone unexpectedly offers empathy right when you need it. Linda glances at the pause monitor. Linda, is that the hallway clip? Evan hesitates. Evan, yeah, and I am thinking about releasing it. Linda exhales slowly. Linda, then let me tell you something important. If you choose to do this, make sure you do it for the right person. Evan looks at her often. For Emily? Linda, for the truth. Narrator. Linda is not wrong. Truth does not pick sides. It simply demands to be seen. And right now, that truth is about to find its stage. Cut to the Hale penthouse. Jason Hale stands at the glass wall overlooking Riverbend, a phone in one hand, a coffee in the other. He looks exhausted but polished. Perfect hair, perfect posture, perfect lie. Jason, listen, I will hold a press briefing later. Emphasize that Emily is recovering beautifully. Do not mention the collapse. Do not mention the hallway. And keep Sienna's name out of every sentence. He ends the call and sighs. Sienna emerges from the bedroom wearing one of Jason's shirts. Sienna, morning, you look like a man trying to outrun a wildfire. Jason rubs his temples. Jason, I am dealing with it. Sienna smirks. Sienna, Jason, sweetheart, you are not dealing with it. You are spinning it. Big difference. Narrator, Sienna Ross is many things. A strategist, a seducer, a risk taker. But thoughtful? Not so much. Jason pours another coffee. Jason, no one outside that hospital knows what happened. It is contained. Narrator, spoiler alert, it is not. Cut to the hospital lobby. Nurse Linda walks quickly, clutching a folder to her chest. She almost bumps into Dr. Quinn. Dr. Quinn, slow down, Linda. You are walking like someone stole your lunch. Linda, Doctor, we need to talk. Evan found footage. Dr. Quinn's eyes sharpen instantly. Dr. Quinn, where is it? Linda glances toward the elevator. Linda, with him. But he is thinking about leaking it. Dr. Quinn folds her arms. Dr. Quinn, then let us give him the advice he needs. Quiet truth is an accident. Loud truth is a choice. Narrator, that is your actionable advice number 1. When dealing with wrongdoing, silence never creates safety. It creates permission. Dr. Quinn marches toward the security room, but she is too late. Evan is gone. Cut to the hospital courtyard. Evan is sitting on a bench, elbows propped on his knees, staring at the flash drive in the early morning sun. He whispers, Evan, Emily would never forgive me for doing nothing. He stands. Narrator, this is the turning point, the fuse burning faster. Because Evan Hale has made his decision. And once truth starts running, you cannot drag it back. Cut to downtown. A 21-year-old barista named Chloe Parks wipes down a sidewalk coffee cart near Riverbend Square. She scrolls her phone and suddenly freezes. A notification flashes. A new video, uploaded anonymously, no caption. She taps it. She sees the hug, the collapse, the shock. Chloe, oh my God, no way, no way. She reposts it without thinking. Then 5 of her friends repost it. Then 50 strangers. Then 5,000. Narrator, here comes catastrophic event number 2. The internet wakes up. Cut to a montage. A construction worker at a gas station. A college student in a dorm. A nurse in a break room. A mother making breakfast. All staring at the same 18-second video. A man hugs another woman while his pregnant wife collapses behind him. A caption begins spreading, created by a random viewer. He did not even turn around. Narrator, that sentence becomes the spark. Within 15 minutes, the hashtag Hale Hospital. Hug begins trending. Within 30 minutes, Jason Hale's corporate publicist sends him a message. Publicist text, we have a problem. Jason reads it. His stomach drops. Cut back to the hospital. Dr. Quinn bursts into the neonatal wing where Linda is feeding baby Hale through a syringe tube. Dr. Quinn, Linda, is the video online? Linda's face pales. Linda, yes. Narrator, for a moment the hospital goes silent, the kind of silence that feels like the world inhaling right before it shouts. At the far end of the hallway, Evan approaches slowly. Ven, I released it. It was me. If there are consequences, fine. I can live with them. Dr. Quinn steps toward him. She expects to be angry, but she is not. Dr. Quinn, then live with this too. You may have just saved your brother's wife. Evan nods, unsure whether to feel relieved or terrified. Narrator, because the storm is only beginning. Cut to the Hale penthouse. Jason's phone explodes with alerts, buzzing nonstop. Sienna watches over his shoulder. Sienna, Jason, is that? Oh no, Jason opens the video. He watches his own hug, his own indifference, his own betrayal, from the perspective of a hospital camera. His voice shakes. Jason, who released this? Sienna, does it matter? It is everywhere now. Narrator, catastrophic event number 3 lands like a meteor. The clip reaches morning television. A news anchor says, Anchor, this video appears to show Jason Hale, CEO of Hale Dynamics, embracing another woman while his pregnant wife collapses behind him. The anchor adds, Anchor, warning, the footage is disturbing. Narrator, by 9:30 a.m., the entire country has seen it. By 10:15, Jason's board calls an emergency meeting. By 10:45, a crowd begins forming outside Riverside Hospital. People holding signs, people demanding answers, people furious. Linda watches from the window. Linda, poor Emily, she did not even get a chance to wake up before the world chose sides. Narrator, and America has chosen. Cut to the final scene. Emily, still unconscious, lies quietly beneath warm hospital lights. But something changes. One eyebrow twitches, a tiny movement, a spark. Evan rushes in. Evan, Emily, can you hear me? Narrator, she cannot, not yet, but soon, very soon, because the truth is awake now and Emily is not far behind. Narrator, by mid-morning, Riverside Hospital is surrounded, not by sirens, not by police, but by people. Ordinary Americans who watched an 18-second clip and felt something twist sharply in their chest. Something like outrage, something like empathy, something like anger on behalf of someone they had never met. The crowd outside grows fast. Parents, nurses, college students, tourists who happen to be in the city. Handwritten signs rise above the sea of faces. Stand with Emily. Moms deserve better. No excuse for cruelty. A few signs include humor. My ex tried this. He sleeps in a tent now. Jason, blink twice if you are allergic to accountability. Narrator, a little humor softens even the hardest edges of grief. It is the human way of surviving drama. Inside the hospital, tension thickens like humidity before a summer storm. Dr. Quinn paces the hallway, arms folded, eyes sharp. Linda hustles between the neonatal wing and Emily's recovery room. Evan keeps his hood up, trying to avoid attention, but attention is already hunting him. At the nurse's station, two staff members huddle around their phones. Nurse 1, this thing is everywhere. My aunt in Kansas just sent it to me. Nurse 2, Kansas. My cousin in Maine texted me asking if I have met the hero brother. Narrator, Evan flinches at that phrase. Hero brother. He does not feel like a hero. Heroes feel sure of themselves. Open feels like someone who lit a match in a fireworks warehouse. Dr. Quinn turns sharply. Dr. Quinn, Vin, in my office, now. Cut to her office. It is quiet except for the faint buzz of the overhead light. Dr. Quinn motions for him to sit. Dr. Quinn, you understand the gravity of what you did? Evan nods. Evan, yeah, I exposed the truth. Dr. Quinn, you exposed a lot more than that. Jason Hale is not a small man. His influence expands across 3 industries. His legal team is already awake and sharp. Evan clenches his jaw. Evan, I know, but Emily, she would never survive this alone. Dr. Quinn leans back. Dr. Quinn, she is not alone, not anymore. Narrator, this is the moment of connection, the shared experience point. The place where someone chooses to stand next to you rather than stand back and watch. Cut to the street outside. A news van pulls up. A reporter steps out, speaking into her mic with the energy of someone who knows ratings gold when she sees it. Reporter, we are live outside Riverside Hospital, where Americans nationwide are expressing outrage after footage showing Jason Hale ignoring his collapsing pregnant wife spread like wildfire. Narrator, she continues talking, but the story is already living its own life. Growing, shifting, expanding. Sienna Ross watches the broadcast on her phone inside a black SUV, pulling up to the hospital. She looks shaken for the first time since this entire night began. Sienna, Jason, this is bad. Really bad. Jason sits beside her, jaw tight, eyes hollow. His fingers drum aggressively against his knee. Jason, I need to see Emily. Sienna stares. Sienna, are you serious? You cannot walk in there with cameras outside. Jason, she is my wife. Sienna, and the world knows what you did. Jason, if you walk through those doors, people will tear you apart. Jason's jaw clenches. Jason, I have to control this. I need to fix it. Narrator, ah yes, the famous fix-it instinct. Not heal it, not repair the damage. Just fix the public perception. Cut to the neonatal unit. Linda is tending to baby Hale, carefully adjusting a small strap that holds his oxygen line in place. The baby squirms and lets out a soft hiccup. Linda smiles. Linda, look at you, making noises like you are trying to narrate your own documentary. Narrator, here is your second humor sprinkle. Light, gentle, a breath between storms. Evan approaches the glass, staring at the tiny bundle of life. Evan, he is stronger than he looks. Linda nods. Linda, babies often are. People underestimate small things until the small things start changing everything. Evan stares a moment longer, then whispers, Evan, Emily is going to wake up. She has to. Narrator, but fate is not ready for that moment just yet. Cut to Emily's room. The lights are dim. Monitors beep slowly. Her hands rest limp at her sides. A nurse checks her vitals. A stable pattern. Slow but steady. Narrator, for now, Dr. Quinn enters quietly. Dr. Quinn, how is she? Nurse, unchanged but stable. Dr. Quinn, keep talking to her. Coma patients respond to familiar voices. The nurse nods and leans closer to the bed. Nurse, Emily, sweet girl, the world is waiting for you. Your son is waiting, and your brother is fighting hard for you. Emily's eyelids flutter. Barely, but enough to make the nurse gasp. Nurse, Doctor, did you see that? Dr. Quinn hurries over. She examines the vitals. Dr. Quinn, it is a reflex, but a promising one. Narrator, Emily is still trapped in a fog, her mind suspended between memory and pain. But every story needs a turning point, and hers is coming. Cut to outside the hospital. A scream erupts from the crowd. Someone shouts, "He is here!" The camera swings. Phone screens rise. Jason Hale steps out of the SUV. He walks toward the hospital entrance, attempting calm, but cracking at the edges. People shout accusations. Some yell insults. A few throw paper cups. One woman screams, "What kind of husband doesn't turn around?" Jason pushes through security and slips inside. Narrator. And just like that, catastrophe number 3 begins to ripple. Cut to the lobby. Jason tries to straighten himself. Security blocks him almost instantly. Security guard. "Sir, you cannot go upstairs." Jason stiffens. "Jason, I have every right. My wife is recovering here." Security guard. "Your access has been restricted by Dr. Mara Quinn." Jason. "Restricted? On what grounds?" Narrator. "On the grounds of being an unmitigated disaster, but the guard is too professional to say that." Security guard. "Medical safety grounds. You will need her approval." Jason tries to push past. The guard does not budge. Sienna enters through the side hallway, whispering fiercely, "Sienna, I was right to say." "Jason, stop. You are making this worse." Jason snaps, "Jason, I am not leaving until I see her." Narrator. Meanwhile, upstairs, Dr. Quinn receives a message. Nurse texting, "Jason Hale in lobby, trying to come up." Dr. Quinn mutters, "Dr. Quinn, absolutely not." She marches toward the elevator. Cut to the elevator interior. Jason and Sienna have stepped inside already, slipping in while security was distracted by shouting protesters. The doors begin to close, but a hand slams against them. Dr. Quinn stands there, eyes blazing. Narrator. She is 5'7" of pure authority. Dr. Quinn steps inside. Dr. Quinn. Jason Hale. "You are not going anywhere near your wife," Jason scoffs. Jason. "You cannot stop me." Dr. Quinn. "Oh, I can, and I will." Jason glares. Jason. "You think you can control this situation?" Dr. Quinn leans in, her voice cold enough to freeze a river. Dr. Quinn. "No, I think I can protect my patient from the one person who hurt her most." Narrator. The elevator doors close, but the moment stays suspended like a held breath. Jason is not a man used to being told no, especially not by someone who refuses to be intimidated. He straightens. Jason. "Doctor, you are overstepping." Dr. Quinn. "And you are underestimating me." Narrator. When the elevator stops, security is waiting. Jason is escorted back downstairs. Sienna watches in silence, her confidence cracked. Cut back to Emily's room. Her finger twitches again, then again. The nurse gasps. Nurse. "Doctor, she is responding to sound. She is coming back." Emily's breathing grows deeper. Her eyelids flutter. She whispers a single broken word. Emily. "Baby." Narrator. And that is where this chapter ends. Not with a scream, not with K's, but with a whisper. Because sometimes the smallest sound is the one that changes everything. Narrator. If you have ever woken up from a deep sleep and had no idea what day it was, you know a fraction of what Emily Hale feels right now. Only in her case, it is not just the day she has lost. It is a whole life that has shifted while she was gone. The first thing she feels is the weight in her chest. Not pain exactly, more like gravity, more like the world pressing down. Then comes sound, a monitor rhythm, soft mechanical breathing, distant voices. Emily. "Hello?" Her voice is rough, like it has been left in the sun too long. The nurse at her bedside jumps, nearly dropping her chart. Nurse. I'm here. Emily, can you hear me?" Emily blinks slowly. The ceiling lights blur into halos. Emily. Where is... Her hand moves weakly toward her stomach. The curve that used to be there is gone. Her fingers touch flatness and bandages. Panic shoots through her. Emily, my baby. Where is my baby? The nurse leans close, voice gentle. Nurse, he is here, he is safe, he is small but strong. We will let you see him soon. You both made it through. Emily exhales a shaky breath. Tears well instantly. Narrator, some people cry from sadness. Some cry from physical pain. This is different. This is the kind of crying that happens when survival finally gets confirmed. Dr. Quinn hurries into the room, stethoscope swinging around her neck. Dr. Quinn, Emily, you are awake. That is very good news. Emily blinks at her. Emily, you are my doctor? Dr. Quinn, yes, I am Mara Quinn. I operated on you last night. You and your son both had a rough entry into the world, but you are here. That is what matters. Narrator. Actionable advice number 2 slips in right here. In crisis, always look for 2 questions first. 1. Am I safe? 2. Am I alone? Dr. Quinn is about to answer both for Emily. Emily swallows. Emily, is Jason? She trails off, unsure how to finish that sentence. Is he here? Does he know? Does he care? Dr. Quinn hesitates, not because she does not know the answer, but because she knows all of it. Dr. Quinn, your husband is in the building, but he is not allowed up here right now for your safety. Emily's forehead creases. Emily, my safety? Dr. Quinn trades a glance with the nurse. Dr. Quinn, we can talk details later. For now, I want you to focus on breathing, healing, and meeting your son when you are ready. Narrator, and here it is, the first moment where Emily notices something is deeply wrong, not medically, emotionally, socially, publicly. She just does not know the scale yet. Cut to the hallway. Evan stands outside, pacing like he is waiting for exam results. Linda approaches him. Linda, you are wearing a hole in the floor. Evan stops. Evan, she is awake, I think. I saw the nurse run in there. Linda smiles softly. Linda, then this is your moment. Go be her brother. Evan hesitates. Evan, what if she hates me for going public, for exposing Jason? Linda tilts her head. Linda, let me ask you something. If you were lying in that bed, would you want someone to quietly protect your reputation or loudly protect your life? Evan, my life. Linda, then go. Narrator, shared experience, moment number 2. We all know what it is like to second-guess a hard decision, even when we made it for the right reasons. Evan knocks gently and steps inside. Emily turns her head, eyes still heavy but aware. Emily, Evan? Her voice cracks on his name. Evan approaches the bed, trying to smile. Evan, hey, Em, you had us all terrified. Emily studies his face. Emily, you have not shaved. Evan lets out a weak laugh. Evan, yeah, well, your timing for dramatic collapses is terrible. Did you have to pick the one night I was pulling a double? Narrator, a little humor, a fragile bridge between siblings. Emily's smile flickers, then fades. Emily, what happened? I remember pain, the hallway, Jason, and that woman. Her expression tightens. Emily, was that a dream? Evan looks at Dr. Quinn. Dr. Quinn nods slightly. It is time. Evan pulls a chair closer. Evan, Emily, there is something you need to see, but I want to warn you first. It is hard to watch. Emily, is it about Jason? Evan, yes. Narrator, if you are listening to this as a viewer, this is where your stomach knots, because you already know what she is about to see, but she does not. Dr. Quinn brings in a hospital tablet. She opens a video. A familiar hallway appears. White lights, a gurney, a man in a suit, a woman in red. Emily watches. She sees herself. She sees Jason hugging Sienna. She sees her own hand reaching out. She sees her own collapse. Emily's hoarse whisper breaks the silence. Emily, oh my God. The video ends on the image of her falling. Emily closes her eyes tightly, as if she can block it out. Tears spill over. Emily, he did not even move. Evan's voice is soft but steady. Evan, the whole country saw this, Em. She looks at him, stunned. Emily, what? Dr. Quinn explains. Dr. Quinn, the footage leaked early this morning. It went viral within hours. There are people outside this hospital right now holding signs for you. There are donations coming in for your son's care. And there are a lot of angry Americans who think your husband is, well, she chooses her word carefully, a disgrace. Emily stares at her own reflection in the dark screen. Emily, I do not understand. How? Finn clears his throat. Finn, because I leaked it. I pulled the footage from security and I sent it out. I could not let him bury what he did to you. Emily looks at him for a long, silent moment. Her gaze is unreadable. Evan braces himself. Evan, if you hate me, I get it. But I would rather you hate me for telling the truth than forgive me for protecting a lie. Narrator, he is not the only one holding his breath. You probably are too. Emily exhales slowly. Emily, I do not hate you. Evan's shoulders sag with relief. Emily continues, voice trembling. Emily, I hate that it had to be you. I hate that any of this is real. But I am not angry at you, Evan. I am angry at him. She wipes her tears clumsily. Emily, he could have reached for me just once. Dr. Quinn nods. Dr. Quinn, and now the whole country knows that he did not. You are not crazy. You are not overreacting. The camera tells the story for you. Narrator, there is a unique relief in evidence, in proof that your pain is real, that your reality is shared, not dismissed. Emily swallows. Emily, so what now? Do I just hide in here while everyone decides what to think about me? Dr. Quinn, no, you heal. You meet your son. Then if you are strong enough, you decide if and when you speak. Not for drama, not for revenge, for protection, yours and others. Narrator, actionable advice number 3. You do not owe your story to the people who hurt you, but sharing your story can protect the people who are still where you once were. A soft cry echoes from the hallway. A newborn's cry, high-pitched, fragile. Emily's head turns instinctively toward the sound. Emily, is that? Linda steps into the doorway smiling. Linda, if you are up for it, we can wheel you to see him. Emily's eyes flood again, this time with something brighter than grief. Emily, yes, please. I want to see my baby. Cut to the neonatal unit. Machines hum softly, tiny incubators line the room. Emily is wheeled in slowly in a chair, IV dangling, pale but alert. Linda guides her beside one incubator. Inside lies a tiny boy, pink skin, tufts of dark hair, a hospital bracelet around his wrist that reads Baby Hale. Emily presses a hand to the glass. Emily, hey little man. Her voice is soft, full of awe. Emily, I am your mom, and I am so sorry about how you had to come into this world. The baby squirms, tiny fingers flexing. Linda smiles. Linda, he has been fighting since the moment he got here. I think he gets that from you. Narrator, and for the first time since waking up, Emily feels something new settle in her chest. Not fear, not anger, not disbelief, purpose. Emily, I do not know what is coming next, but I am not letting him grow up thinking this is what love looks like. She looks at Evan, then at Dr. Quinn, then at Linda. Emily, will you help me? They all nod. Whatever you need, Dr. Quinn, you focus on healing. We will handle the storm. Linda, and just so you know, the internet is extremely on your side. Narrator, Emily Hale woke up in a war she did not start, but she is not walking through it alone. And somewhere else in the city, Jason Hale is realizing that the woman he underestimated is no longer just his wife. She is becoming a symbol. Narrator, by afternoon, the story has stopped being just gossip. It has become a mirror. In living rooms and break rooms, in long scrolling feeds, people are not just watching Jason Hale. They are watching themselves, asking quiet questions. Would I have turned around? Would I have stayed? What would I do if that were me? Inside Riverside Hospital, life has narrowed down to one floor, one recovering mother, one fragile baby, and one man trying desperately to rewrite a story that the world has already finished. Cut to the Hale corporate tower, a long glass conference room. Board members sit around a polished table, their phones lit with headlines. One of them clears his throat. Board member 1, Jason, we have to talk about damage control. Jason sits at the head of the table. He looks like he has aged a decade in a day. His tie is perfect, but his eyes are hollow. Jason, damage control is exactly what I have been doing. Board member 2, no. What you have been doing is denial. Public anger is not shrinking, it is growing. Our stock is down 20% since the video dropped. Jason clenches his jaw. Jason, so what? We write it out. People forget. They always do. Board member 3 shakes her head. Board member 3, not this time. This is not a rumor or hearsay. This is visual evidence. People are replaying that hallway frame by frame. They are saying if he does that to his wife, what is he doing to his employees, to his customers? Narrator, that is the thing about a viral scandal. It never stays in one lane. It bleeds into every corner of your image. Jason stands. Jason, I will fix it. I will make a statement. I will apologize. They want tears? I can do tears. Board member 3. Jason, this is not a performance problem. It is a character problem. For the first time, the room goes completely silent. Jason's eyes flash with anger. Jason, you are firing me. Board member 1, we are suspending you, pending our review. Effective immediately. Narrator. And that is the first moment Jason Hale truly realizes he has lost something real. Not just public favor. Control. Cut to the hospital. Emily sits up a little straighter in bed now. Her color is better. Her voice is stronger. The television in the corner is muted, but images flash. The video. The crowd outside. Talk show hosts debating words like betrayal, neglect, emotional cruelty. Evan holds the remote. Evan, do you want this off? Emily studies the screen. Emily, leave it. I want to see what they are saying. Narrator, it may seem strange that she wants to watch her own heartbreak on repeat, but there is a reason for it. Actionable advice number 4. Sometimes understanding the size of a problem is the first step to shrinking its power over you. You cannot heal from what you refuse to look at. The news cuts to a live segment. Anchor, we are expecting a statement from Jason Hale later today. Sources say he will deliver a public apology addressing his behavior in that now infamous hospital hallway. Emily exhales slowly. Emily, of course, now he wants to talk. Dr. Quinn enters, carrying a small folder. Dr. Quinn, how are we feeling? Emily shrugs. Emily, like a train hit me, backed up, and hit me again. But sitting up is easier now. Dr. Quinn smiles faintly. Dr. Quinn, your vitals look good. Another day or so and we can start talking about discharge plans. Evan frowns. Evan, discharge? Already? Have you seen outside? She will need riot gear. Dr. Quinn, which is why we will plan carefully, safety first. Narrator, famous last words. Because right now Emily thinks she has a protective bubble. The hospital, the doctors, the public on her side. She thinks she is safe. This is the moment when she believes the worst is over. She is wrong. Cut to the hospital administrative office. A man in a suit sits across from the hospital director. He is smooth, polished, and carries a briefcase that probably contains more legal threats than documents. Lawyer, I represent Jason Hale. We are filing an injunction against the hospital for breach of privacy, defamation, and unauthorized release of confidential security footage. The director rubs his forehead. Director, the footage was accessed by staff. We did not authorize a leak. The lawyer slides a folder across the desk. Lawyer, nevertheless, it occurred on your property through your systems. We will hold you accountable. Unless, of course, we can come to a more cooperative arrangement. Narrator, here comes the twist, the one you did not see coming. Because while the public is rallying behind Emily, the legal machine is quietly aiming at the people who protected her. The lawyer continues. Lawyer, issue a statement discrediting the footage. Say it was taken out of context. Say Emily is unstable. We will provide suggested language. In return, we limit damages. The director stares at him in disbelief. Director, you want us to call our own patient unstable? Lawyer, emotionally compromised, exhausted, misinterpreting events in a high-stress moment. We can polish the phrasing later. Narrator, this is the second big disappointment for Emily, though she does not know it yet. She thought the hospital would be a fortress. Instead, it is already under siege from another direction. Cut back to Emily's room. The television shows a countdown timer. Anchor. In just a few minutes, Jason Hale will address the nation. Evan groans. Evan. He is going to cry and half the internet is going to fall for it. Emily. Not this time. Linda pokes her head in. Linda. You guys watching this? Emily nods. Linda. Good. I brought popcorn. She lifts an empty plastic cup. Linda. Hospital edition. Narrator. A small laugh escapes Emily. It is fragile, but real. Emily. You are ridiculous. Linda. Ridiculous people survive dark days better. It is a science. Probably. They all turn to the screen. Jason appears at a podium, a single camera trained on him. His hair is slightly messy, his eyes carefully read. Jason, thank you for giving me the chance to speak. The image you have all seen, the hallway, my wife collapsing. I want you to know that I am devastated by how it looks. Evan groans. Evan, there it is, the classic line. Not devastated by what he did, devastated by how it looks. Jason continues. Jason, I was overwhelmed. I was scared. I did not understand what was happening behind me in that moment. If I could go back, I would run to her. I would never let her fall. The camera zooms slightly. Jason, to my wife Emily, if you are watching this, I am sorry. I love you. I love our son. I hope one day you can forgive me and we can rebuild our life together. He steps back. The feed fades. The anchor returns. Anchor, a tearful apology from Jason Hale. Will it be enough? Only time will tell. The television goes quiet. The room stays silent. Finally, Emily speaks. Emily, no. Evan looks at her. Evan, no to what? Emily, no to forgiveness on his terms. No to rebuilding so he can keep using me as a brand. No to pretending that this was a misunderstanding instead of who he really is. Narrator, this is a wisdom moment in disguise. The realization that forgiveness is not a free pass. It is a boundary. Emily looks straight ahead. Emily, I might forgive him someday for my own peace, but I will not go back, and I will not help him repair his image while he tries to destroy mine. Linda nods slowly. Linda, good. That is the energy we like. Dr. Quinn enters just in time to hear the tail end. Dr. Quinn, then you need to know something. Jason's legal team is pressuring the hospital to label you as emotionally unstable. They want us to say you misinterpreted what happened. Emily stares at her. Emily, they want to call me crazy. Dr. Quinn, without using that word, yes. Evan's hands curl into fists. Evan, tell me you said no. Dr. Quinn's expression is calm, but there is steel beneath it. Dr. Quinn, I said no, but the board is nervous. Money makes some people forget what integrity looks like. Narrator, third subtle engagement moment. Maybe you have been here too, watching someone with power try to rewrite your reality and having to decide if you will sit quietly or stand loudly. Emily takes a shaky breath. Emily, if they are going to talk about me, then I want to talk for myself. Evan frowns. Evan, what do you mean? Emily, a statement. No, not just a statement. She looks at Dr. Quinn. Emily, a press conference, here, in this hospital, with the truth on a screen behind me. Linda's eyes widen. Linda, girl, that is not just a step. That is a leap. Dr. Quinn studies her, then nods. Dr. Quinn, if we do this, we do it properly. We verify the footage chain of custody. We confirm medical records. We tell the story once, clearly, and then we let the world decide. Emily nods back. Emily, let them see what the camera saw and let them hear what I felt. Narrator, she thought she was safe because the hospital was a shield. She has just realized she will be safer when she becomes the sword. Narrator, morning light filters through the blinds of Emily's hospital room, soft and thin. For the first time since everything exploded, the hallway outside is almost quiet. No rushing stretchers, no raised voices, just distant footsteps and the faint hum of machines. Emily sits propped against her pillows, still in a gown, hair pulled into a loose ponytail Linda did for her. Linda, there, not bad for hospital chic. If anyone asks, tell them you are starting a new trend. Emily smiles weakly. Emily, exhausted mom line comes with free trauma. Linda, exactly, you will sell out in a day. Narrator, the humor is light but necessary. It is like a bandage over something that is still bleeding underneath. Evan sits in a chair near the window, scrolling his phone. Evan, the hashtag Stand With Emily is still trending. So is he did not turn around. You have entire comment sections threatening to fight people on your behalf. Emily, great, I always dreamed of going viral for nearly dying. Evan, hey, at least you did not have to dance for it. Narrator, if you are listening, here is a small piece of advice tucked into the moment. When your life feels out of control, small jokes are not disrespectful to your pain. They are oxygen. Use them. Dr. Quinn steps in, holding a clipboard. Dr. Quinn, all right, team, You ready to make history or at least a lot of headlines? Emily takes a breath. Emily, as ready as I am going to be. Dr. Quinn, the press hall is set. We have verified the footage chain of custody. The hospital's legal team signed off on the statement confirming it is real. Once we start, there is no walking it back. Emily nods slowly. Emily, good. I am tired of walking things back. Cut to the hospital boardroom earlier that morning. The director stands at the head of the table. Several board members sit around, faces tight, coffee cups untouched. Director, Dr. Quinn wants to hold a press conference with Mrs. Hale on our property with our logo behind her. Board member 1. Our donors are nervous. Jason Hale has already threatened legal action. If we take sides against him publicly, funding will vanish. Board member 2. We are a hospital, not a talk show. Is it wise to drag ourselves into this media circus? The director sighs. Director, we are already in it. Our hallway, our cameras, our staff. The circus pitched its tent on our lawn yesterday. Dr. Quinn, standing near the window, finally speaks. Dr. Quinn, let me ask you something. Which is more dangerous? 1. Staying silent while lawyers rewrite reality. Or 2. Standing next to a woman who nearly died in our care and saying, yes, what you saw was real. The room goes quiet. Board member 1. We could issue a written statement. Something neutral, something vague. Dr. Quinn, neutrality is not neutral when someone is being smeared. It is just a polite way to abandon them. Narrator, you may have felt this at some point. When people you counted on tried to stand in the middle while you were being pushed to the edge, the director rubs his temples. Director, if we do this, we could lose money. Grants, partnerships. Dr. Quinn, if we do not, we lose something harder to replace, trust. Silence stretches. Finally, the director nods. Director, all right, we host the press conference. We confirm the footage. We protect our patient. But I want security tight. No surprises. Narrator, he says that like the universe is listening. Like chaos will respect a sign that says, no surprises today, please. Spoiler, it will not. Cut to a high-rise apartment across town. Jason Hale sits at his kitchen island, staring at an untouched glass of orange juice. The television on the wall shows split screens. On one side, clips of the viral video. On the other, commentators dissecting his apology. Commentator 1. He looks remorseful, but is it just image control? Commentator 2. The problem is the contrast. 18 seconds of cold in that hallway versus 4 minutes of tears at a podium. Jason mutes the TV. His lawyer, seated across from him, opens a notebook. Lawyer, we have a problem. Jason, that seems to be the theme of the week. Be specific. Lawyer, the hospital is cooperating with your wife. They are hosting a press conference with her this afternoon. We have confirmation. Jason stiffens. Jason, they are what? Lawyer, she will speak, and they will confirm the footage as authentic. Jason stands, pacing. Jason, no, she will not. Emily does not want publicity. She hates cameras. Lawyer, people change when they realize the world believes them. And right now, the world believes her. Jason turns toward the window, jaw clenched. Jason, we release something first. Something that undercuts her. Old messages, fights, anything that makes her look unstable. Lawyer, we could leak private texts, show arguments, emphasize emotional volatility. Narrator, here is the shocking reveal you might not have seen coming. He is not trying to win her back. He is trying to win the audience back, even if it means burying her. Sienna appears from the hallway, arms folded. Sienna, Jason, you know if you do that, there is no going back. It will not just destroy her trust, it will nuke it from orbit. Jason, she already destroyed mine by letting that video spread. Sienna, she did not leak it, her brother did. Jason, same result. Narrator, actionable advice for real life. If someone treats your pain as a PR problem, believe them the first time. Cut back to the hospital. Emily sits with Evan and Linda, going over notes. Evan, you do not have to answer every question they throw at you. You can say, I am not comfortable answering that. Linda, also, if someone asks, what would you say to Jason right now? Please do not say, I hope he is happy. That is the official anthem of women who deserve better. Emily huffs a laugh. Emily, what if I say, I hope he gets a really slow Wi-Fi connection for the rest of his life? Linda, perfect. The internet will love that. Narrator, humor again. Not to make light of what happened, but to remind Emily she is more than what happened. Dr. Quinn enters with a small envelope. Dr. Quinn, before we roll you out there, I thought you might want this. Emily frowns. Emily, what is it? Dr. Quinn hands it over. Dr. Quinn, your preliminary discharge plan. Assuming your recovery stays on course, you and your son could be home in a few days. Emily's eyes widen. Emily, home, that sounds terrifying. One, we will make it less terrifying. I will stay with you, help with night feedings, change a diaper or two or 10. Linda, there it is, witnessed on the record. Diaper duty, no backing out. Narrator, shared experience moment number 3. That instant when people gather around the new parent and say, you will not do this alone. Emily folds the paper carefully. Emily, okay, let us do this. Cut to the hospital press hall. Rows of chairs, cameras on tripods, microphones lined up along a table. Reporters murmur, flipping through notes. A large screen at the back of the stage is paused on the hallway image. Outside the doors, security stands ready. Director, remember, no one comes near her without clearance. No outbursts, no chaos. Security guard, understood. Narrator, which of course is exactly when chaos decides to run its finger along the door handle. Down the hall, a man in a baseball cap and plain jacket signs in at the front desk under the fake name. He keeps his head down, moves like he is trying to be invisible. It is Jason Hale. He tucks his visitor badge into his pocket instead of wearing it. He slips through a side corridor, moving toward the press hall. Narrator, he is not here to support her. He is here to watch, to study, to plan his next move. Backstage, Emily takes slow breaths as a nurse adjusts her IV. She is in a wheelchair, wearing a simple, soft-colored dress over her bandages, hospital bracelets still on her wrist. Emily, what if I freeze? Dr. Quinn, then you take a breath, say, excuse me, I need a second, and everyone on your side will love you even more for being human. Linda, and if anyone tries to twist your words, remember, the video speaks louder than any spin. Evan kneels beside her chair, looking straight into her eyes. Quinn, you do not have to be perfect. You just have to be honest. Narrator, that is advice you can use anywhere. At a press conference, in a breakup, in a job interview, honesty over perfection, every time. The moderator pokes their head in. Moderator, they are ready for you. Oh. Emily's hands tremble slightly on the armrests. She stares down at her hospital bracelet. Emily, I walked into that hallway thinking I had a husband who would catch me, but if I fell. She looks up, eyes clear. Emily, now I am going out there knowing I can catch myself. Dr. Quinn smiles proudly. Dr. Quinn, then let us go show them. The doors open. The room quiets as Emily is wheeled onto the stage. Evan on one side, Dr. Quinn on the other. Cameras rise like a mechanical forest. Flashes begin. She squints at the brightness, but keeps her chin up. Narrator. From the back of the hall, near a shadowy corner, Jason watches. His face is hidden under the cap. His jaw is tight. His fist curls at his side. He came here thinking he could still control the narrative. He is about to learn what it looks like when the person he underestimated picks up a microphone and refuses to look away. The moderator leans into the mic. Moderator, thank you all for being here. We will begin with a brief statement from Dr. Mara Quinn, followed by a statement from Emily Hale. Dr. Quinn steps forward. Dr. Quinn, what you are about to see and hear is not speculation. It is evidence, and it belongs, first and foremost, to the woman who lived it. She nods to Linda at the back. The screen behind them flickers to life. The hallway appears. The red camera light blinks. The hug, the collapse. A collective gasp echoes through the room, even though every person here has already watched it at least 10 times. Narrator, it feels different in this space. Less like content, more like a crime scene. The clip ends. The image freezes on Emily's falling body. All eyes shift to the real Emily. Alive, bruised, breathing. She reaches slowly for the microphone. Her voice, when she speaks, is soft but steady. Emily, my name is Emily Hale, and that was the moment my marriage ended. Narrator, the room holds its breath. In the corner, Jason does too. Narrator, if you have ever spoken in front of a crowd while your hands shook, you know a sliver of what Emily Hale feels right now. Only her stage is not a classroom or a wedding toast. It is a packed press hall. Her outfit is not carefully chosen. It is a borrowed dress over healing stitches and a hospital bracelet. And her first sentence just cracked the entire room open. Emily, my name is Emily Hale, and that was the moment my marriage ended. For a heartbeat, nothing moves, no cameras, no pens, just air and silence. Then the first flash pops, then another. Reporters lean forward like the story itself just stepped closer. Emily takes a slow breath, fingers gripping the edge of the table. Emily, I went into labor thinking my husband would be the one holding my hand. I believed we were a team. I believed what a lot of women believe. That love means loyalty, that vows mean protection. She glances back at the frozen image of herself collapsing. Emily, instead that hallway showed me something else. It showed me that sometimes the person you trust most is the first person to look away. Narrator, there it is, the universal dilemma. How do you walk away from someone you once believed would never let you fall? A reporter in the front row raises a hand. Reporter 1, Emily, did you know your husband was involved with his colleague before this night? Emily's jaw tightens. This is the part that usually gets whispered about in private. Now it is on a microphone. Emily, I suspected. I felt distance. I felt something shifting. But every time I tried to talk about it, I was told I was being paranoid, emotional, overly sensitive. She looks directly into the nearest camera lens. Emily, to anyone listening who has heard those words, let me be clear. Your feelings are information, not a defect. Narrator, actionable advice, wrapped in pain. Save it. You might need it. Another reporter calls out. Reporter 2, do you accept your husband's apology from his statement yesterday? Emily's lips press into a thin line. Emily, I accept that he is sorry the world saw what he did. I have not seen evidence that he is sorry for what he did. A ripple of sound moves through the room. Emily continues. Emily, forgiveness is not a press release. It is not something you demand on a timeline that protects your career. If I forgive him someday, it will be for my peace, not to rebuild a brand. Near the back wall, Jason stiffens under his cap. Narrator, he came here thinking he could absorb this, manage it, maybe even twist it. But he did not plan on the calm precision of a woman who has finally stopped apologizing for existing. Dr. Quinn steps up to the mic for a moment. Dr. Quinn, as Emily's physician, I can confirm she suffered a stress-induced collapse. We performed an emergency delivery to save both her and her child. Without immediate intervention, we could have lost them. She lets that sink in, then adds, Dr. Quinn, and yes, the footage is real. It has been verified by our board, our legal team, and an independent auditor. What you saw is exactly what happened. Narrator, that sentence lands like a gavel, no wiggle room, no out-of-context excuses. A reporter in glasses raises her hand. Reporter 3, Emily, what do you want people to take away from your story? Emily inhales. This is the question that matters. Emily, I do not want people to just be angry for me. Anger burns fast. Then the internet moves on. I want people to recognize emotional neglect when they see it, in their own lives, in their friends' lives. If you are with someone who repeatedly chooses their comfort over your safety, that is not love. That is convenience. Narrator, if you are listening and feel something twist in your chest, that might be your own truth tapping on the glass. Another reporter calls out. Reporter 4, do you plan to divorce Jason Hale? The room goes quieter, if that is even possible. Emily does not look at the cameras. She looks down at her hospital bracelet. Emily, my marriage ended in that hallway. The paperwork will catch up. The crowd murmurs. Pens scramble. From the shadowed back corner, Jason's hand curls into a fist. His lawyer beside him whispers urgently. Lawyer, we have to respond. We cannot let her control this narrative. Jason, she is lying by omission. Lawyer, we leak something now, right now. Jason pulls out his phone, face lit by the screen's cold glow. He taps quickly, jaw clenched. Narrator, Here comes the next twist. The one that hits while the first victory is still unfolding soon. On the stage, Emily notices movement among the reporters. Phones are buzzing. Notifications are popping up like popcorn. Reporter 5 stands quickly. Reporter 5. Emily, Jason's team just released private messages between you two. They show arguments, breakdowns, moments where you sound desperate, unstable. Would you like to respond? For a moment, Emily cannot breathe. Evan whispers fiercely. Evan. They did not. Linda, near the back, checks her own phone. Linda. Oh, they did. He just leaked her text messages. Narrator. This is the second time Emily thinks she might be safe, only to be shoved back underwater. First, the hospital protection. Now her moment at the mic. The moderator leans forward. Moderator. We can pause this. Emily shakes her head, voice sharp. Emily. No, we will not pause. She looks directly at the reporter. Emily. Read 1. The room goes dead silent. Reporter 5 hesitates, then reads from their phone. Reporter 5, quote, I feel like I am losing my mind. You keep telling me nothing is wrong, but everything feels wrong. End quote. Jason smirks slightly in the shadows. Narrator. He thinks this makes her look weak, unhinged. He is about to learn how badly he miscalculated. Emily nods slowly. Emily. Yes, I sent that. And I am not ashamed of it. She scans the room with clear eyes. Emily. Here is something no one tells you. When you are being gaslit, sounding crazy is often a sign you are still fighting for reality. Those texts are not proof that I am unstable. They are proof that I knew something was deeply wrong. A few reporters exchange glances. One of them nods, almost to themselves. Emily continues. Emily, if you have ever sent a message like that asking, is it me? Am I the problem? I want you to hear me now. You are allowed to trust your own alarm bells. Narrator, actionable advice again, not from a therapist or a self-help book, from someone who just survived the fire. At the back, Jason whispers harshly to his lawyer. Jason, why is this not working, lawyer? Because you assumed vulnerability was a weapon against her, instead of her armor. On stage, a reporter in a blue blazer raises a hand. Reporter 6. Emily, have you seen the public support for your baby? People are calling him the miracle boy. Does that change anything for you? Emily's expression softens. Emily, I have seen some of it. The flowers, the messages, the donations. I am grateful. Truly. But what changes everything for me is not the attention. It is him. She points gently as if toward the neonatal ward. Emily, my son will grow up and one day he will see that hallway clip. He will read these articles. I cannot control that. But I can control what he learns from it. She looks straight into the nearest camera again. Emily, I want him to know that it is never too late to stop pretending something is okay when it is not. Narrator, if you are keeping track, that is wisdom moment number 2, the kind that sticks in your head long after the video ends. The moderator starts to wrap up. Moderator, we will take one last question. A voice cuts through the crowd, louder than the rest. Voice. Emily, gasps, heads turn. Jason has stepped out of the shadows. Cap off now. Security moves us instantly, but he holds up his hands. Jason, I just want to speak to my wife. The room erupts. Cameras pivot. Microphones stretch toward him. Security guard. Sir, you need to step back. Jason ignores him, eyes locked on Emily. Jason, please, this is not fair. You are turning the whole world against me. Emily feels every muscle in her body tighten. Emily, Jason, sit down. This is not your moment. Jason laughs bitterly. Jason, not my moment. It is my life. Our life. You are airing our worst nights in front of millions of strangers, narrator. That line hits the third catastrophe in this chain. The private war is now fully public. No more walls, no more filters. Emily's voice stays steady. Emily, I did not leak the video, and you know that. But I will not be shamed for surviving something you caused. Jason's mask slips. Jason, you are being dramatic. You always have been. Look at you. You have a whole audience now for your breakdown. There it is, the old script, the familiar attack. The room bristles. Even some reporters frown. Emily's eyes flash, but she does not raise her voice. Emily, you are doing it again. Jason, doing what? Emily, taking my pain and calling it a performance, making my fear into a punchline. You did it in that hallway. You are doing it right now. She gestures to the frozen image behind her. Emily, the difference is this time I am not alone on that gurney. Narrator, the crowd is utterly silent. Then someone in the back starts clapping. Another joins, and another. Within seconds, the room is a wave of applause. Security steps between Jason and the stage. Security guard, Theo, sir, you need to leave. Now, Jason looks around, suddenly seeing not a room of potential allies, but a wall of witnesses. Jason, this is not over. He backs toward the doors, swallowed by flashes and shouted questions. This way, Mr. Hale. Do you regret the hug? Do you think you will lose everything? The doors close behind him. On stage, Emily's shoulders slump with exhaustion. Emily, I think I am done. Dr. Quinn squeezes her shoulder. Dr. Quinn, you did more than enough. Evan leans in, whispering. Evan, you were incredible. I mean, scary incredible. I might hire you to negotiate my next lease. Emily lets out a shaky laugh. Emily, I just want to go see my son. Narrator, and as they wheel her off the stage, past the cameras and microphones and hot lights, Emily feels something she has not felt in a long time. Not victory, not yet, but the first fragile taste of freedom. Outside, the crowd erupts with chants as news alerts begin buzzing on phones across the country. Inside, down one quiet hallway, a tiny baby sleeps under soft lights, unaware that his mother just turned their worst night into a lighthouse for strangers. Narrator. Sometimes the villain of a story does not crumble on camera. Sometimes he waits until the hallway, the stairwell, the parking garage. Sometimes he breaks only when there is no one left to applaud or boo. Jason Hale breaks in the courthouse parking lot. The sun is too bright, the asphalt too hot, and every news alert on his phone is another nail sealing his reputation shut. Headline after headline scrolls across the screen. Narrator reading headlines. Jason Hale escorted out of press hall. Wife calls emotional neglect the real betrayal. Crowd applauds Emily Hale while husband storms out. He throws the phone onto the passenger seat. It bounces, hits the dashboard, and falls to the floor. Jason, this is ridiculous. I am not the monster here. But even he does not sound convinced. His lawyer slides into the driver's seat, loosening his tie. Lawyer, you made a mistake going in there. We could have salvaged the narrative before that. Jason, she humiliated me. Lawyer, no, you humiliated yourself. She just stopped covering for you. Jason stares at him, stunned by the honesty. Lawyer, look, Jason, damage control is no longer possible. We need a new plan. Jason, what plan? Everything is gone. The lawyer hesitates. He has debated saying this for days. Lawyer, you need to accept the possibility that you will lose custody and access, and maybe even your stake in the company. Jason's face goes pale. Jason, lose my son? No, that is not happening. Lawyer, then you need to stop the theatrics and start cooperating. No more leaks, no more surprise appearances, no more shouting in public. Jason slams his fist against the steering wheel. Jason, I am not the villain. Narrator, the thing about denial is that it always shouts the loudest when truth is close enough to touch. The lawyer folds his arms. Lawyer, Jason, you are not listening. You are drowning, and the only person who could have saved you. You tried to take down in front of the world. Jason flinches as if hit. He turns the key, starts the engine, and drives away without another word. Scene change. Street Helena Hospital lobby. Narrator. Meanwhile, Emily is being wheeled toward the neonatal unit, lightheaded but determined. Evan leans beside her, hands stuffed into his hoodie pockets. Evan, hey, just checking. How are you holding up? Because if that were me, my legs would still be jelly. Emily, my legs are jelly. Evan, good, I feel better now. Emily lets out a soft laugh. Narrator, there it is, the tiny flicker of humor that keeps the heaviness from swallowing the room. They reach the glass viewing window of the neonatal room. Inside, tiny Theo sleeps in his bassinet, wrapped like a little burrito with a tuft of dark hair sticking up. Emily covers her mouth, overcome. Emily, he looks stronger. Dr. Quinn joins her, voice warm. Dr. Quinn, he is. His breathing has stabilized. His reflexes are improving. His blood oxygen levels are beautiful. He has his mother's stubbornness. Emily wipes a tear. Emily, thank you for everything. Dr. Quinn rests a gentle hand on her shoulder. Dr. Quinn, you saved him, Emily. Your body did the impossible that night. And today, your voice did something just as powerful. Narrator, shared experience moment. A woman who has been through hell speaking to the woman who pulled her back. Dr. Quinn, take this moment in. You earned it. Emily stares at her baby with a soft smile. Emily, I cannot wait to take him home. Just the two of us. Dr. Quinn's expression shifts slightly, still kind but thoughtful. Dr. Quinn, Emily, the court hearing is in a few days. Even after today's conference, Jason may still try for partial rights. You will need to be prepared. Emily nods. She has expected this. Emily, let him try. I am not afraid of him anymore. Narrator, a powerful sentence, but even as she says it, a shadow crosses the glass. Evan notices first. Evan, Emily, Doc, is that Jason? They turn, and yes, there he is. Jason Hale stands at the end of the hallway, hands shoved into his jacket pockets, expression unreadable. He looks different now, less confident, more ghost-like. Emily stiffens. Emily, why is he here? He is not allowed near the ward. Dr. Quinn signals the nearest security guard. Dr. Quinn, stay behind me, Emily. Van Wecke to her back a few feet. But before security reaches him, Jason raises his hands. Jason, I am not here to cause trouble. I just want to see my son. Emily whispers, barely audible. Emily, over my dead body. Jason takes a step forward. Security guard, sir, you need to step back immediately. Jason's voice cracks. Jason, please, just 1 minute. He looks at Emily, not angry this time, not defensive, just hollow. Jason, I messed up. I know that. But he is my son too. Emily can hardly breathe. Emily, you cared about your reputation more than his life. Jason, that is not fair, Emily. Neither was you holding another woman while I collapsed. Narrator. Silence, sharp, final. Jason looks at his feet, at the wall, anywhere but at Emily's eyes. Jason, I need to see him. I need to know he is real. Evan steps forward, voice low but firm. Evan, he is real, and alive, and safe, which is more than we can say about the man who walked away from him. Jason's shoulders sag. For once, he has no comeback, no defense, no excuse polished enough to save him. Security places a hand on his arm. Security guard. Sir, it is time to go. Jason nods weakly as if deflated. He glances toward the nursery window one last time. Jason, I love him, even if she does not believe me. Emily forces herself to meet his eyes. Emily, I believe you love the idea of being a father, not the responsibility. Jason's face twists. Jason, you will not even give me a chance. Emily, you had chances, hundreds of them, and you used every single one to love yourself first. Narrator, there are wounds louder than shouting. This one echoes through the entire hallway. Jason turns away, defeated. Security escorts him down the corridor, each footstep a slow unraveling. Emily watches until he vanishes around the corner. Then she exhales, shaking. Emily, okay, I am ready to take him home. Whenever that day comes, I am ready. Dr. Quinn smiles gently. Dr. Quinn, then that day is coming sooner than you think. Narrator. Chapter 9 ends not with a victory shout, but with a quiet, unshakable truth. Emily is no longer surviving Jason. She is moving beyond him. Narrator. The morning sun settles over Riverbend City like a warm hand, gentle and deliberate. For the first time in months, the air feels soft, not heavy, quiet, not tense, hopeful, not haunted. Inside a little craftsman-style house on Willow Lane, wind chimes ring softly from the porch. Lavender grows along the walkway. A small blue ribbon hangs on the mailbox. Baby boy Hale is coming home. Emily sits on the living room sofa, wrapped in a pale yellow sweater, her hands clasped around a mug of warm tea. Evan bustles around the room, adjusting pillows that do not need adjusting. Evan, I swear this house looked bigger yesterday. How are babies so small and yet need so much stuff? Emily laughs. Emily, you put the diaper warmer in the pantry. That might be part of the chaos. Evan, hey, the pantry has great airflow. Narrator, comic relief, subtle and timely. Because life cannot be all courtrooms and catastrophes. There must be laughter tucked between the broken pieces. A knock. 3 soft taps. Then Dr. Mara Quinn steps inside, carrying a portable car seat and a bag labeled discharge instructions. Dr. Quinn, good morning, Team Hale. Emily beams. Emily, is he ready? Dr. Quinn, more than ready. He has lungs. He has opinions. He has kicked 3 blankets off already. You gave birth to a tiny Olympic athlete. Evan grins. Evan, I knew it. He gets that from my side of the family. Dr. Quinn, actually, no. He gets it from sheer stubborn survival, from his mother. Emily swallows hard, suddenly emotional. Narrator, here it comes. Wisdom moment. Final 10%. Dr. Quinn sits beside her. Dr. Quinn, Emily, healing after trauma is never a straight road. But you created a second chance for yourself and for him, long before any judge declared it. Emily blinks away tears. Emily, it still feels unreal. After everything. Dr. Quinn, good, let it feel unreal. That is how new peace always begins. The door opens again. A nurse wheels in a tiny bassinet, draped in soft blankets. Baby Hale, Theo now officially, sleeps inside, fist curled near his cheek. Emily's breath catches. She whispers, Emily, hi buddy, we made it. The nurse hands her a clipboard. Nurse, 1 signature, and he is officially discharged. Emily signs, a shaky signature, full of relief and courage. Dr. Quinn, ready to take him home? Emily, I have never been more ready for anything. Scene change. Outside, the sidewalk fills with neighbors holding tiny flags that say, Welcome home, Theo. An elderly man from across the street raises his coffee cup. Neighbor, we have been rooting for you, sweetheart. Emily blushes, holding Theo close. Emily, thank you. Truly. Evan whispers, Evan, you are like a local celebrity. Should I start charging for autographs? Emily, Evan, please do not embarrass me. Evan, never, maybe, probably. Narrator, peace is not always quiet. Sometimes it is a chorus of kind strangers and badly timed jokes. The family moves inside. Inside the house, sunlight pours in through the windows. Theo's nursery, painted soft blue with tiny gold stars, waits like a dream come to life. Emily lays him gently in the crib. He wiggles, makes a tiny squeak, and falls back asleep. Emily touches his cheek. Emily, you are safe. You are really safe now. Evan stands in the doorway, arms crossed. Evan, you are doing it, you know. Emily, doing what? Evan, building a life that has nothing to do with him. Emily exhales. Emily, it feels good. Strange but good. Narrator, Emily Hale has crossed the line from survival to rebuilding, from endurance to ownership. Oh, cut to Jason Hale. Narrator, some stories do not tie up neatly. Some endings do not become fairy tales. Jason stands outside his condo complex, duffel bag slung over his shoulder, corporate building pass deactivated. He reads the court order one more time. No custody, supervised visitation only, mandatory counseling, financial restitution, corporate removal, travel restrictions. Jason whispers, Jason, how did I let it get this far? But the answer is obvious. He stopped listening long before the world stopped believing him. A reporter approaches. Reporter, Mr. Hale, do you want to comment? Jason keeps walking. Reporter calls again. Do you regret what you did? Jason freezes, turns. He looks older than he did yesterday, and much, much smaller. Jason, every day, every hour. I regretted everything. Narrator, it is not redemption, but it is acknowledgement. And sometimes that is enough to close a chapter, even if it does not open a new one. Jason walks away. No cameras follow. Back at the Willow Lane house, Emily stands in the kitchen, rocking Theo gently while warming a bottle. The radio plays a soft acoustic song. Evan sits at the table, scrolling on his phone. Evan, hey Em, the Aurora Initiative launched 5 minutes ago. You are officially the face of hospital patient advocacy now. Emily raises a brow. Emily, I thought they said they were naming it after someone else. Yvonne, nope, you got voted in. People loved your press speech, especially the part where you said dignity is a right, not a privilege. Emily blushes. Emily, I did not realize anyone was listening that closely. Yvonne, the whole country was listening. Narrator, her words have become more than a declaration. They have become a movement. Emily kisses Theo's head. Emily, then I hope it actually helps someone. Evan stands, hugs her tightly. Evan, it already has, starting with you. Emily melts into the hug. Emily, thank you for never walking away. Evan, never will. Final scene. That night, Emily sits on the porch swing, Theo sleeping in her arms. Crickets hum. The air smells like lavender and evening breeze. She watches the stars above the quiet street. Emily, we are home, little one. Theo shifts, makes a soft sound, and nestles closer. Narrator, this is the peace she fought for, the peace she earned, the peace she will protect with every breath. It is not perfect, it is not painless, but it is real. And in this house, on this porch, in this quiet corner of Riverbend City, a woman once crushed beneath betrayal now stands whole. The story does not end with a courtroom, or a scandal, or a headline. It ends with a mother whispering to her son, Emily, we made it, and our life begins now, narrator. And so it does.